Saturday morning. That's right. Collectors Radio Show. It is Saturday morning coming around, coming back to you. And we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I guess mainly the would be the elephant in the room, right? I think as many of us, as many of the people that are fans of this show or my channel here, I should say your channel, the fact that what it was announced by a major company involving the old classic wheel revolvers, right? So yeah, I'll be sharing a little bit of my thoughts on that and everything with you. But let's go ahead and read your comments. And already during the comment section, we will have the spoiler alert of what we're going to talk about, right? So, and all that kind of stuff. That's exciting news. And I guess a little bit on what I think of that. What do I think spawned that? And how it's going to be received in the market. So we'll see. If that doesn't heat you up and cool you down at the same time. But yeah, it has been, I don't know about where you guys are, but definitely we've hit a cold front. There's been definitely some staggering, extreme cold weather hitting different states. Obviously, here I am saying, out here in Arizona going, oh, it's cold. And people going, really? Sure. Yeah. But I guess it would depend where you're at, too. I guess if you're out here and you're up near like Flagstaff area and stuff like that, it would be pretty cold. Or up in, as they call the White Mountains up here, Pine Top and Show Low. That pretty nice weather up there, too. Definitely see the snow and whatnot and what have you. So, and believe it or not, I can't believe that I would say this. I have definitely seen a lot of snow out here, definitely going up to the mountains, spending time out in where Johnny Ringo's grave is. Yes, where we actually did a video going out there, shooting video of the Johnny Ringo's grave. We sent out on a, what do you call those, side-by-sides, and went out there to go see Johnny Ringo's grave. And it was snowing during those times. So, but yeah, fascinating stuff. Definitely different for me because, coming from the island and then coming out here, where the island is pretty much about the same weather all the time. During the winter, yes, the mornings are colder, the nights are cooler, which is nice. But you can literally still go and go catch the waves during the middle of the winter and stuff like that. So I always thought that was kind of interesting and fun. Actually, speaking of which, my friend that was out there too, he actually just they just took a train out from Minnesota, where he's out at now. He's living out there. He caught a train from Minnesota to Seattle. Very interesting, very interesting. So that's going to be interesting. Coming up also, as I will, I guess, talk a little bit more when the time comes. I actually will be in California for a couple of days to check some stuff out and everything like that. So if you are in the Sacramento, California area, if you see me or whatever, say hello. I'll be out there, but I'll let you guys know a little bit closer to when that time comes, and we'll go ahead and talk about that. So, all right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and read your comments, elaborate a little bit on them, maybe, and just kind of chime in. Again, the comments and everything, your comments are very important to this show. They are what make the show. Again, I can't stress enough about all the viewers that we get and the people that comment. You are what this show is all about. So thank you very much for being here. First one up in no particular order is from Tin Man. I've got a 1980 Smith & Wesson model 19-4, and it's pinned and recessed. Love your videos. Okay, so I guess we know at least that. I was trying to figure out where they quit doing that procedure, pinning and recessing the Magnum series with that Model 19. So I guess Tin Man here has got one that's all the way up to a -4. and it's actually pinned and recessed. I forgot what mine is. I can't remember if mine's like a 4 or a 3 or something like that. All right, Jeffrey Richardson, good morning. Sip of coffee. 1911s are awesome. Have you heard the great news from Smith & Wesson Classic line? No key lock. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about this time around. All right, Slim Fire. Morning, JW. And I hope you're having a good weekend. Sorry to hear about the tobacco shop. Yeah, there's places that I guess they just don't get it. That, you should. I'm not saying that you should be a total kiss ass to everybody. Boy, that's I think we've had enough of that. But I mean, there should be something of a common courtesy, especially if you're trying to run a business and you're the people that come in there and spend their money that thrives on your success. If not, then you're going to end up pushing shopping carts at Walmart type of deal. I also like the Beretta 92, but never had one. Maybe someday, thanks for the video, Slim. Yes, I did have a Beretta 92 FS or M9, whatever the heck. It got all crazy. Oh, that's not a 92 FS, whatever, B, C, D. That's an M9. Okay, great, cool. It still looks like the diehard gun to me. But you know what, Slim? One thing about it is, I will say that what I can remember about shooting it was so soft shooting. It handles really well. I know people complain about the grip. I have small hands. I love the grip on that thing. It felt amazing in the hand. Still to this day, I would say it is my all-time favorite grip on a handgun. Was the Beretta 92. I think that grip is just amazing. And of course, for me, the love of Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, especially Lethal Weapon. I think more so Lethal Weapon for me was definitely the hint on that one in liking that. So we got 2 thumbs up from Jerry Johnson. DB says, good morning. I agree that new age Colt 1911s are not what they once were. T-Sauce, a tremendous value for what they are. Cheers. That comment's kind of going back to what I was talking about on the World War I replica, I guess a reintroduction 1911 from Colt. Not to get confused like what I was saying. Still, that is one of my favorite 1911s. I love it because it takes it back to the old days. What I'm saying is the price has gotten grossly overpriced. I do believe those things, the World War I reproduction guns that Colt did back in 2009 or 8, I think they were supposed to land the market right around $800. Now that they're easily doubled that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if it's I mean, unless it's something really super cool and you really want one, then yeah, go for it. I will say that though, the new Colt commercial gun that they got out or whatever, the Colt Classic, I don't know, whatever they want to call it. It's phenomenal. It's my blaster. It's definitely my shooter to take to the range. Love it. It's got the original old school 50s roll marks on it. Fantastic piece. But yeah, I mean, there is something to be said. I mean, they're bluing and they're fit and finish. They're polishing. Definitely, you're not going to see that finish like that from the yesteryears on there. Even the Series 70 Mark IV, that polished flats on that is so polished and blued. You just won't see it anymore. It just really, I don't know if it's just the time that they took or the chemicals that they were using you can't do anymore. Who knows? But yes, I do believe that it's not just Colt. Other companies too that used to do that kind of stuff, that kind of work, had some of these vintage blued Smiths here. You just don't see that level of bluing anymore. Is it so much that where it makes such a crazy difference that it's such a deal breaker? No. But my eyesight, I can't even. It's getting to the point where I can't even compare side to side. Like my eyesight's not even that good for it to matter that much. So, but anyway, that's kind of what we were talking about and where we were going with that. Crazy Scotsman, 100% agree. Prices are on so many things are ridiculous, and people pay it, which is crazy. Yes, uh, there's a lot of things that I think that people that buy things, you know, fancy embellishments and stuff like that that people wear, that I think is insanely overpriced and no real return value that I think. And it's like, but people spend their money on it, high prices on it. And I'm just like, gosh, you can't even, you know what I mean? What do you do with that? You know? So yeah, I get it. And there's things that, in the modern market, which I don't really care for a lot of the modern stuff. Any of the, like I'm not an AR-15, person. I just never like got into those rifles. They just don't do anything for me. But I know that people spend a lot of money on them. I mean, to me, I think that's crazy. I just think it's like, man, I'd rather take that. I mean, just like you start getting up there in a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, God, I don't even have that to spend on a gun. And if I did, I would probably source out some nice, really finely made vintage Colt or something. So, but that's just me. T-Sauce makes a good quality, budget-friendly 1911. It's hard to mess up such an iconic design. Dillons can be finicky, that's for sure. That is true. Dillons can be finicky and weird and, all that. But I tell you, when you're up and running, nothing makes you a pile of ammo like a Dillon Precision. Not even getting paid for them. They should be paying me for that, definitely. I remember when I first got mine, I did some upgrades in order to get it to run smoother. The one I got, my 650, is so old and so worn out and so abused that I can't believe mine's still running. All right. Sean Lee says, "Good morning," and I have to say, the higher price tag, the harder it is for me to pull the trigger on buying it. Yes, definitely. There's definitely a cap where if it's something I really, really want, it's kind of an interesting take on the market now with the new Smiths that are coming out. They're right around that price that I'm like, ooh, but it's still not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It could be worse. So, but yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, definitely. I have some I'd like to have, but they are a little pricey for me. But I do like paying for quality. I don't mind paying for quality, but I tell you, if I do pay up for that quality, man, like I always say this too. Like if I'm gonna drop, like when I was looking into like higher end 1911s or something like that, I carry one, and I've talked about this a lot in a lot of different videos where we brought out quite a few 1911s on the table and so whatnot. Like I don't, you know what I mean. If it's totally worth it and there's something there, and you're going to bring out the money in for it, that's fine. I don't mind paying up for quality. But if I pay up for quality, I expect the thing to be flawless. I do not want to sit there and say, well, it's nice, but I wish it didn't have these serrations on it or something like that or whatever. No, if I'm paying up for it, I want everything to be perfect the way I want it. Same thing, like I've been on the search for some of these older commercial model Colt 1911s that have been on my list, but they're really expensive. People want upwards of $2,000 for them, and I'm just like, that to me is just outrageous. And the ones that I'm seeing are literally worn. They're a lot of it, the bluing's worn off on it and stuff like that. So it kind of goes back to where I'm saying, if I'm going to shell out that kind of money for that thing, I don't want to see bluing wear. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money for me to come up with. And, I'm not going to, that's probably not going to happen. So anyway, but there you have it there. So, but thanks, Sean, for that comment. Awesome stuff. All right, this one's from Mickey Mantle. Good morning, Bad Jack JW. I have only owned one of the Beretta 92s. The size was a turnoff at 5'6", 200 pounds, just too much to lug around. Although my son owns a knockoff Taurus B92, he says it's got a few more bells and whistles. Funny story about the SIG shop. I agree. I would say he's going to get an about face and gone from me and mine. Ridiculous businesses don't understand being kind is free. Blessings. That right. Again, just greeting somebody or just being. I mean, it's like even if you're just got to be one of those people. It's like just got to bite your tongue and just smile and be whatever. Then do it. I gotta say this too. Like, okay, there's an example. Take a server at a restaurant. Okay, I know for a fact I can't do that job. I can't. I already know that going in. That's way too much pampering. That to me, being a server at a restaurant takes a certain individual. I understand that. I recognize that, and I definitely know that's not for me. I'm not going to go seek a job like that out. Now, if that's all that was available and I had to do it, yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to pay your bills, put beans on the table. You got to do it. But I tell you though, there is, but yeah, doing a simple job where it's like, you're working at a tobacco place, smoking cigars all day, filling the place up with smoke. I mean, you're going to be rude to the person that didn't shut the door all the way and then say to them, where you're from, you can't shut the door. That's out of your way, being rude, completely unnecessary. Just even if it was a joke, I wouldn't just go off doing that kind of stuff to people as a joke. Just not cool. I'm just saying. But that definitely, for me on my end, never going back in there ever. So, all right. So the elephant in the room, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. The Smith and Wesson line. I'm glad I kind of waited a little bit throughout this week because I was really watching what's going on. What have they released? What do we know about so far? This is the ones that I know about so far that we did. Starting off with the classic blued ones that we know. They went through and they did the Model 19 4-inch, which is the K-frame 357 Magnum. No key lock. So I don't know if they kept the sleeved barrel thing. I don't know if that was still. I would assume they wouldn't, because I know that was a criticism, just almost just as much as the key lock itself. So I don't know. I haven't seen too much information on that Model 19. However, the ones that I did see more information on, which I'm actually more excited about, is the Model 10 and the Model 36. I've had a couple Model 36s over the years, always regretted getting rid of them. I always wanted one to shoot or mess with. So I do want to get, I'm really excited about that Model 36 and the Model 10. The major things that excite me, believe it or not, is not the elimination of the key lock. I'll be honest with you guys. The key lock doesn't really tilt me as much as it got under some other people's skins. I have a Model 29 that I just purchased with a key lock. I don't even care if it's there. Most of the time, I don't even notice it. I love the thing. I absolutely love that new Model 29. It's one of my favorites now to take to the range. But going back to that, the Model 10 and Model 36, what really got me jazzed about it was the tapered barrel, which is they're using the pencil barrel, and then that what they call the hump sight. Okay, this is an old model, pre-Model 10. That's the hump sight right there. Now this is a tapered barrel with the hump sight. The Model 36 is going to have this type barrel on it. That is what I'm really just absolutely jazzed about. This is a bigger K-frame, 6-shot snubby, but I'm definitely looking forward to the 36 because the 36 has been outfitted with that type of barrel. So has the Model 10, taper barrel with this hump sight. That is so cool to me. I'm just like so ecstatic to see it because it's all about that look, and that look is just awesome. Also, the Model 10 does have the on the ejector rod. It's got the knurling on it, which is kind of like more of a button, and with the knurling on it, like a donut. That's a throwback to the old like hand ejector models and stuff. So that I'm really jazzed about that. Also, the grips on that Model 10, really cool. Totally smooth, beautiful crafted walnut by Tyler T. Gunworks, I believe. And these are kind of throwbacks to the old Victory model grips. They don't have the logo. They don't have the Smith and Wesson logo. I'm not sure how I quite feel about that. Maybe the Model 10, yeah, I could have lived without it or something like that, a throwback. But I'm still kind of like thinking, man, at least you should have thrown the logo in there. Um, at least Colt did that, even though they got their stuff made by Altmount. And I think some of the other Smiths are too. But so I'm not sure, that maybe the Model 10, not so much, but the other ones I really, really wish they would have. The Model 36 does. The 36 has got the standard walnut with the diamond on it, and then the logos are on there. At least they did it for that one. Now the Tyler T gun grips ones, they're super nice. That's the other thing that's really awesome about this. From the pictures and I saw, looks like don't need to change out the grips. They're going to be wonderful as they come. And usually for me, it's like, I've got to change the grips out kind of thing. So there's those two, or those three. I'm really excited about the Model 10 and the Model 36. Now, jumping on over to the stainless side, Lifsey's dropped an announcement on their end that they've got a mountain gun series, two of them coming out, 686 Plus and the 629 mountain gun with the tapered barrel, round butt. Again, Tyler T. Gunworks did the grips on it. They are kind of like, they're calling them bear hug grips. I think, to me, from what I gathered, I didn't really see it too much closely, but on the profile straight on, they look like old school Coke bottle grips. Once again, unmarked with no medallions or anything, but the beautiful wood character in it from what I saw, excellent there. I have really big interest on the 629 mountain gun because that's a 44 Magnum tapered barrel stainless. Always wanted a 4-inch stainless model 629 for whatever reason. I guess just as one to bring out to the range and just kind of enjoy. So I kind of always does. This one kind of makes me interested a little bit. I was like, I kind of am interested in that. The 686. I'm not so much interested in it because it is a 7-shot. I'm a traditionalist in that aspect. I'll do the 5. I'll do the 6. I can't do a 7. I know. I'm sorry. Can't do the 7. Can't do the 8 or whatever. Like, it's the same thing I felt with my buddy that has the K22. He's got a new one. And it's like, you know what? Thank goodness it's 6 rounds instead of like 9 or something like that, which I get that. It's cooler, but I like tradition. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I hope they're going to be successful with it. I imagine they will be. Before I go, I'm going to tell you what I think why they did this, and I'll tell you why. I think because of Colt. Because Colt brought back the Pythons, they brought back the Viper, they brought back the Cobra and all those other ones. And I think they were in the Anaconda, and now the Kodiak, the Grizzly. I mean, they've been on the ball with it, on a roll with that stuff, and they hit a home run. And people are gravitating that. It's almost like going back to the old days, man. Colton, Smith, and Wesson are back button heads, and guess what? As a consumer, it's to our benefit.